my book and wax friends. I'm Amber. If you're new, welcome. Welcome back if you're returning. I post about all things books and home fragrance, and today's video is a bookish video. This is some of the books that I want to read during the spring months, since spring is coming up in March. I think this video will get out to you before March starts. That's my plan. So spring is coming, and I am excited to get to some springy to me type reads. So I thought I'd share some of them with you. So this is my spring TBR. So let's jump into it. The first one I have to share is a classic. It is a continuation of a series that I am rereading, and that is Anne of Windy Poplars by Ellen Montgomery. So this is the fourth book in the Anne of Green Gables series, one of my all-time favorite series. I am currently doing a reread right now because it's been a minute. It's been a minute since I've read them, and I adore them. Still do. All the three I've read beforehand, I still adore. So I'm excited to get to this one. So this is Anne when she is in her 20s. So the whole series is following her life from when I think she starts out in the first book at 11, if I'm remembering right. And then, so it follows her throughout her life. So I'm excited to pick this one up. And next, I have a Regency romance. I'm pretty sure this is on the clean side, and it is A Lady's Guide to Scandal by Sophie Irwin. I feel like I've read a book by her before, but I can't remember for sure now. But this was totally giving me spring type vibes. I like the cozy Regency type of book, romance books during the springtime. So this one is about a girl named Eliza Balfour. She was married to the austere Earl of Somerset, 20 years her senior. It was the match of a season, no matter that he was not the husband Eliza wanted. Now, 10 years later, Eliza is widowed. Suddenly, she's left with a title, rich, and for the first time in her life, utterly in control of her own future. She always lived by society's conventions, but now Eliza has resolved to do as she wants. And what she wants is to head to Bath with her cousin Margaret, pursue painting, learn to drive, and flirt with Bath's most alluring new resident, the infamous Lord Melville. But when the ripples of Eliza's behavior reach her late husband's nephew, who broke Eliza's heart years ago, Eliza will learn that freedom does not come without consequences. The only way to ensure she can keep her fortune is to avoid all scandal. But where's the fun in that? So it sounds like it will be a fun romp. So that one. Then next off, this is kind of not really springy, but I do want to read it because of the movie coming out in March, and that is Project Hail Mary, which is a sci-fi by Andy Weir. And I don't want to read the back of this one because I'm trying to not be spoiled. I want to go into this one kind of blind, but I do know it's about a man who gets amnesia somehow, and he's kind of tasked to save the world. When he wakes up, he finds out that he has to save the world, and there's a mystery surrounding the whole thing. So I've heard it's so good. It is on my 5-star predictions for the first quarter of the year, and so I want to get to this in March. So that is Project Hail Mary. The next one I have is a Regency style fantasy romance, and this one, I definitely need my glasses for this one. I did remember to bring my glasses over, so let's read the synopsis on this one. So this says it's Regency romance meets cozy fae fantasy with a dash of Pride and Prejudice in the sparkling No Spice Tale of Magical Debuts, an Enchanted Tea House, and a banter-filled romance. So that sounds really good. This is the beginning of a series, but I think it's kind of an interconnected standalone series. And so if I do love this one, I will for sure pick up the other ones. Did I even say what this is called? This is Tempests and Tea Leaves by Rachel Morgan. And look how cute. It totally is spring to me. So that one, for sure, I would love to get to this spring. Next up, I do have a couple more cozy fantasies. The first one I still don't have on me yet. I'm waiting for a special edition copy that's coming, and hopefully it'll get to me soon because I'm very anxious to read this book, and that is Agnes Aubert's Mystical Cat Shelter, I think is what it's called. I'm pretty sure. It takes place in the 1920s about Agnes who is running a cat shelter, and some sort of like grumpy warlock comes along or something and mischief happens. Something like that. I don't know. It's by Heather Fawcett, who I adore. She wrote the Emily Wilde series, which I do have right here, one of my favorite series in the last few years. And so I'm excited to get to this one for sure. So that is the first cozy fantasy that I have to share. There's just something about cozy fantasy for me. I mean, I love cozy fantasy all the time, but it feels spring and it feels fallish for some reason. Cozy fantasy does to me. So these are cozies that are springy. The next one I have is The Elsewhere Express. This is by Samantha Soto Yambao. And look how cute this is. I adore this copy so much. And this is, I don't know if I would consider it really cozy fantasy, but it has a whimsical element to it. It's a whimsical book. So let's read what it's about. When you lose your way in life, the Elsewhere Express just might find you. Step aboard the train that may take you to your life's purpose in this wistful, Ghibli-esque fantasy from the author of Watermoon. I thought Watermoon was okay. I'm keeping the limited crate copy I have because I adore the copy. I wasn't a super fan of the book. I didn't hate it, but wasn't a super fan. But I for sure wanted to give this one a try to see if I gelled with it better. The synopsis is, you can't buy a ticket for the Elsewhere Express, appearing only to those whose lives are adrift. It's a magical train seeming to carry very rare and special cargo, a sense of purpose, peace, and belonging. Rhea is one of those lost souls. She had dreamed of being a songwriter, but when her brother died, she gave up on her dream and started living his instead. One day on the subway, as her thoughts wander, she swept off to the Elsewhere Express. There she meets Q, an intriguing artist who, like her, has lost his place in the world. So it sounds good. So magical realism, whimsy. The vibes of the book look springish to me, so that is for sure going on my spring TBR. The next one I have is a cozy. I know this is a cozy fantasy for sure, and that is The Teller of Small Fortunes. This is by Julie Leong, and this is the Fairy Loot edition. This is so cute. So the spoilers, this is part of my haul video that I will be putting out soon. I love it. I adore this so much. So cute. So this is about a girl. So it says, fleeing a troubled past, immigrant fortune teller Tao roams the dusty countryside with only her mule for company, telling small fortunes for small prices. Big fortunes come with big consequences, which she knows from bitter experience. It's a lonely life until she encounters an ex-mercenary and a semi-reformed thief who recruit her into their desperate search for a lost child. Soon they're joined by a baker with a need for adventure and, of course, a slightly magical cat. So that sounds really good. I'm excited to get to this one. So that is The Teller of Small Fortunes. All right, next up is the third book in the Assistant to the Villain series. This is by Hannah Nicole Mayer. And I wanted to read this one before the fourth book comes out, which I'm pretty sure is in August. I have it pre-ordered. I think it's in August, but this one screams spring to me. Just the cover of it. And these are such fun fantasy romps. It is, if you're not familiar with the series, it is about a girl named Evie who in the first book, she's down on her luck and she's trying to find a job. She comes across the villain of the land in a forest, and because of things that happen during that meet, he offers her a job as his assistant. And he is like, his villainy is like the head, he's the head of this evil corporation type of thing. And she becomes the assistant to him in this corporation. It's a fun fantasy, lighthearted romantasy. It's like The Office meets medieval fantasy is pretty much what it is. So this is the third book. And if you're looking for a series that has super slow burn, this is the series for you for sure. So this is the third book, Accomplice to the Villain, and I'm excited to get to that one. The next three are more of epic-ish type of fantasy romance, although this one might be still a little more on the cozy side, so I'll share this one next. Actually, before I share this, the other one that I don't have on me right now, sorry, my mind is bouncing all over the place, is Theo of Golden. I have that also on my 5-star predictions for the first quarter, and I've heard such good things about the book from multiple people. And it is about a man who comes into the town of Golden, from what I've heard, and he pretty much changes everybody's life there. And so I know it's heartwarming. I know I'll probably end up crying in it, but I am for sure wanting to make that a priority for my spring reading. Okay, moving on now to the fantasy, straight fantasy romance books. Although, like I said, I think this one is a little on the cozier side, but rather than more epic. And that is The Swan's Daughter. Let's see if you can see it. This by Roshani Chokshi. I always have trouble saying her last name, Chokshi. And this is the Fairy Loot version. Another spoiler for my haul that I'll be sharing. But this is about a girl. Let's read the synopsis together. Prince Eris knows that marriage means murder after a poorly worded wish generations ago. All one needs to rule the Isle of Malice is probably Malice. Oops, sorry for the glare on my glasses. Are the heart and hand in marriage of the kingdom's heir, regardless of their survival afterwards. Eris's only chance at a long life is true love. When his parents announce a tournament of brides, a throng of beautiful bachelorettes arrives at the castle, but Eris cannot tell who is there out of love for him or lust for power. His only hope is Demelza, a Veritas swan who has fled to the castle for sanctuary. Demelza's song rings truth from lies, and so they strike a deal. Eris will hide her in exchange for her help to sort through his potential brides. But when love and truth become impossibly tangled, the two must decide what is more important, mere survival or chasing a life worth living. So that sounds really good. That's a little less cozy than I thought. I was going to say, I'm looking at this. This looks wintry to me right here, but the back one looks more fallish. So who knows, but it looks, the cover, it looks spring. So this is what I was drawn to. That sounds really good. The next one is A Dance of Lies by Brittany Arena. I know her next book in the series, I'm not sure how long it's going to be, if it's a duology or longer, but I know the next book is coming out here soon. And so I wanted to get to this one. And this one is about a girl named Vasily Moran, was once a dancer in King Ilian's court until he framed her for murder. 2 long years in shackles leave her broken and hopeless until she's suddenly called to face her king. He offers her a deal: pose as a dancer at the royal gathering, spy on his enemies, and he'll grant her freedom. But as Ilian's orders grow bloody and dangerous, Vasily discovers the monster she serves may be aligned with an even greater evil. Unexpected help from Ilian's rakish brother Anton, the king of the East, only complicates things more. The rivalry between brothers escalates, and Vasily is caught in the middle. If she is to survive, she must decide who to trust, who to fight for, and how much of her soul she's willing to damn in the process. So I've heard such good things about this book, and does this not give spring vibes? So that one for sure, Dance of Lies. And then last but not least is Wild Reverence by Rebecca Ross. So this is kind of a prequel to her Letters of Enchantment duology, Divine Rivals, and my mind's blank as to what the second book is called. Anyway, that duology, which I did really enjoy. This is a prequel of sorts. I think there's some tie-ins to Divine Rivals, so I'm excited to see what those are. This is the Fairy Loot edition. I just had to get it because it's so pretty. It does this not scream spring too. So this is about a god named Matilda. So this is, if you're familiar with the Divine Rivals series, there are like gods in it. And, but you're following 2 human protagonists in the story. Especially in the first one, you don't get a lot of the more fantasy elements of it. The second book, you get more of the fantasy, like the war and some of the gods and that sort of thing. So this is about some other gods in this world. So let's get to it and read what it says. So this says, born in the firelit domain of the Underrealm, Matilda is the youngest goddess of her clan. Blessed with humble messenger magic, she uses to carry words and letters through the realms, but the gods will kill for power, and Matilda holds a secret she must hide from even her dearest allies. And there is a mortal who dreams of her, though they have never met in the waking world. 10 years ago, Vincent of Becket wrote to Matilda on the darkest night of his life, begging the goddess he befriended in dreams to help him. His request went unanswered, and Vincent became a hardened, irreverent lord of the river who has long forgotten Matilda, until she comes tumbling into his bedroom window with a letter for her. So that looks really good. I'm excited for this one, and this is such a pretty edition. I really, really am looking forward to this one. So that is Wild Reverence. So that's it, you guys. That is everything that I am, well, not everything, but a look at some of the books that are on my spring TBR for the next few months. Hopefully I will get to all of these. We shall see. I will, as always, do an official monthly TBR, so stay tuned for that. And for other bookish videos that will be coming your way, I am also planning on doing another little free library tour of some other libraries that I haven't. There are a ton of libraries here in where I live. There are a lot. And so I'm looking forward to checking out some of the other ones in my area. So that should hopefully, knock on wood, be coming soon. So thank you so much for spending some time with me. What are your plans as far as reading in spring goes? What kind of books do you like to read during the springtime? I am very curious about that. I appreciate all of you guys. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And until next time, TTFN. Ta-ta for now.